What is going on, Sports Wars? We're here. We are alive. And what a crazy Saturday in college football we had yesterday. MLB playoffs are in full swing. We've got NFL games. It's all heating up right now. And if you're a baseball fan, MLB playoffs been pretty interesting so far. Unless I suppose you're an Astros fan, then it was over very, very quickly for you. But we do have John Matrix here to talk about that. John, how's it going, man? Sorry about your Astros.
Yeah, going good, man. Going good. I was a bit worried. I watched the second game. I actually went and recorded a video, and I came back, and the Astros are up 2-1. But that bullpen, shaky as hell. I had concerns about Josh Hader. That bullpen is not the same bullpen from 2 years ago when it got to the eighth inning and it was lights out. Because remember doing that 2022 World Series run, nobody could hit that bullpen.
But there were some unforced errors too when Presley was up there. I mean, he just throws he throws a normal breaking ball that should have been blocked by the catcher and just skips over his head and they score a run. Like that, there was some definite unforced errors that you can't even put on the bullpen in that. But
yeah. But if you watch the Astros bullpen, mainly most of the season, but especially like the last month, it was shaky. It was shaky. But however, the offense only scored 3 runs in 2 games.
Josh Hader's probably getting paid more than like the entire Detroit Tigers team is. I don't know exactly what the Tigers payroll is this year, but I know Josh Hader's getting like $20 million a year or something like that.
Yeah.
To be a lockdown closer, and slipped away from him a little bit there.
Yeah.
I met Josh Hader a couple years ago at spring training. Really cool dude.
Oh, you did?
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've got his autograph somewhere. I think I've got it on this one. This is just like a handful of random cards that I've got signed by people. But I think, I got my Josh Hader right there. There he is.
Yep.
There he is.
I am curious, though, what the Astros are going to do when Verlander. Verlander said he didn't want to return. I don't want to bring him back for a bit deal. Now, if he comes back, for like $10 million, okay, I can probably work with that.
Bro, look, I got Joey Votto and Garrett Cole right there, right next to each other on the top row.
Garrett Cole from the Pirates.
Yeah, his rookie. It's
Nice.
his rookie card, isn't it? No, it's not his rookie card, but yeah, Pirates Garrett Cole.
When he signed it, was he still on the Pirates?
I think so. Yeah, he was. This is before he went to the Yankees. This is before he went to the Yankees because I'm pretty sure I got it at Petco Park when he was there. And fucking, 1, the Yankees are almost never there. And 2, when they are, the Yankees are a bunch of cocksuckers when it comes to signing shit. So I probably got him before he became a Yankee, if I had to guess.
Astros? When he was on the Astros?
I don't think so either. It was
When he was using the spider tack?
It was probably Pirates, to be honest with you.
That's badass.
Yeah. Did you? No, I think of these ones. There might be one. No, all of these I've got signed in person. I got Dylan Cease there too. Dylan Cease, who he gave up a couple runs yesterday for the Padres. But yeah, Dylan Cease is a stud when he's on. Anyway, we don't need to show all those. Yeah, I've got fucking hundreds and hundreds more cards that I've got signed, whether it was at Petco Park or at spring training or shit like that. So yes, we got a ton of them. But anyway, we didn't even introduce Beardo. What's up, Beardo?
Nothing much, man. I am running on 0 hours of sleep. I pulled an all-nighter playing Alien Isolation last night. Did a 7-hour stream. Woke up, did Game On this morning over on Rumble with those guys, and rolled right into Sports Wars. But yeah, crazy day. College football yesterday. NFL today. MLB playoffs. Listen, if you want to get into it with college football yesterday, how the hell did Alabama leapfrog Texas to be number 1 in the nation? That is fucking crazy to me. That Alabama beat a very not impressive Georgia team last week. They stomped on them in the first half, let Georgia come back, and Georgia hasn't been impressive all year. Carson Beck fucking sucks. So for Alabama to leapfrog Texas when Texas has a bye week, this is one of the biggest case scenarios of ball don't lie for Alabama losing to Vanderbilt yesterday. Unranked Vanderbilt. Ball don't lie, man. Alabama should have never been number 1. That's fucking crazy to me.
Their defense stinked, especially on the run. They were horrible.
Yeah, number one, Alabama goes into Vanderbilt, and in the first half, it started getting away from it. At one point, I think Vanderbilt was up like 23-7, maybe.
Yeah.
I saw at one point when I turned it on, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? They did come back, and you saw a lot of people about halfway through the third quarter say, everything's fine now. That was a little bit scary. Vanderbilt just kept going and going and going. And, Ryan Williams made another incredible catch and run yesterday. That dude is ridiculously talented, but this is maybe one of the most embarrassing losses we've seen from an Alabama team in recent years.
Yeah.
I mean, just straight up.
They really should have probably went for that onside kick with like about 3 minutes left, man, because their defense couldn't stop me.
They should not have been number one in the nation.
It's tough when Texas has had a bye and they haven't played a ton of super impressive people lately. Alabama beats a top 5 ranked team at home. It's tough. I can see where the arguments are, but hey, that's what happens. You become the number one team in a nation, and it's all over after that.
Yep.
They got a long way to work back to that if it'll ever happen again for them this year.
How far are they going to drop? Like number 6, number 7?
Well, here's the thing. There could be a big change up in this top 10 after what we saw today, because not only does Alabama get beat by Vanderbilt, which has been considered the lowliest of the SEC teams for years and years and years, and especially now, Vanderbilt sticking close with Missouri, because I saw a lot of people, including Bama fans, say, well, this is a better Vanderbilt team than usual. Look what they almost did to Missouri. What happened to Missouri today? Oh, yeah, they got fucking spanked by Texas A&M. Number 9 ranked Mizzou gets spanked by Texas A&M, beat by 31 points. Miami escaped against California. This is now the second week in a row I think Miami has just completely escaped disaster somehow, some way.
Yep.
You obviously had that very kind of controversial call with that last pass last week. Miami once again escapes. Find a little bit of controversy. One, how fucking weird is it that California's in the ACC? Like, it's weird enough having USC and UCLA in the Big Ten, but when California is in the Atlantic Coast Conference, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah,
that makes zero sense at all. But Michigan gets beat by Washington. That's not necessarily a big surprise to me, especially at Washington. I still think Michigan might be ranked a little bit too high. Sure. And then your USC Trojans, Beardo, lose to Minnesota at Minnesota.
Yeah, tight game. It was really tight game all game until really the fourth quarter. It is what it is, man. I don't really have anything much to say about it except for USC let this one go. And I had my hopes that USC was going to make the college football playoff.
Yeah, you just said that last week, and I was like, what?
Yeah, I did. I thought USC had their chance of making the college football playoff, and I don't really have those beliefs anymore. I don't. I've lost confidence in this team. I can see them losing 1 or 2 more games this year.
Did Aaron Rodgers just throw another pick?
He almost threw his third one before the half.
Oh, it must have just fell on the ground then. Okay.
I might as well just pull up the game too.
Because we got these fucking London games on, everybody. Yep. We got these damn London games.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
I gotta say right now, Aaron Rodgers, he looks like he could have spent a little more time in training camp and a little less time on an ayahuasca trip, sitting in some place in darkness for 3 days or whatever the fuck.
Bingo.
He does not look on the same page with all of his receivers. He just doesn't, and he hasn't all season long.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Somebody's down and hurt right now. I can't tell who that is. I just turned it on.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers.
That's Rodgers, isn't it?
Oh, Rodgers is hurt right now, I think he is. Oh, yeah, he is. Holy shit, I think it's his knee.
Well, he's screaming.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers screaming in pain as he turns over.
Oh, no.
Could be Achilles again. Who knows?
No, this is a knee. Oh,
it's his knee.
It's his knee. His left knee. He's walking off, so that's good news.
It did get twisted up under there.
Yeah, that looked ugly.
But he probably just wants a fucking break. He looks miserable out there. Rodgers is washed. He just is, okay?
Yeah.
And he's not on the same page with a lot of these guys. The offense looks very rough, and there's really, to me, there's no excuse for him to be doing all this shit. I know it's Aaron Rodgers, okay, but it's not like you played all last year, had time to get familiar with all your guys.
Yeah.
I don't think he could have afforded to skip out on training camp the way he did this year without a full year under his belt with those guys already. And I think that offense is struggling in part because of that. So
yeah, he didn't throw a pick. Man, he's awful. He's 13 of 26 for 113 yards, 4.3 yards per attempt, 1 TD, 2 interceptions, 42.6 QB rating. Wow.
He hasn't had a good connection with his receivers all season long.
No, he hasn't.
This is not good.
And, it makes you wonder what might happen if we see Davante Adams find his way to the New York Jets. And that's something that has been rumored basically ever since Aaron Rodgers went to the Jets. We started hearing these rumors about, what if they make a move for Davante Adams? Davante would really like to play with Aaron again. Ooh, blah, blah, blah. In the aftermath of Derek Carr leaving the Las Vegas Raiders, because that's why Davante Adams went to the Raiders, because he had that connection with Derek Carr, and then immediately they move off Derek Carr. Then the rumors speculated, maybe Davante Adams. Well, now, a couple weeks into the season, we saw the friction between Antonio Pierce and Davante Adams, some stuff that was said in front of the podium, some things that were liked on social media, and now it's just out there in the open. Davante Adams wants to leave. And obviously, one of the destinations people potentially expect is the New York Jets, or potentially the New Orleans Saints to go back and play with Derek Carr.
Yeah.
Other than those two, I don't really know what the possible landing spots would be for him, because you got to have a team that has the cap space and a team that he wants to go to. Yeah. And people are throwing out, the Chiefs, the Chargers. Ain't no way the Raiders trade within division.
No,
like to those guys. I don't think anyway. But where do you guys think Davante Adams ends up? Or does he just sit there and suffer and they don't fucking trade him with the Raiders?
I have no idea.
I think realistically, he wants to go to the Jets. He wants to go to the Jets. But the Saints are in better position, really, being in the NFC South, a rather weak division. We don't really know what the AFC East, though, is either, because the Bills, they just got spanked last week. I mean, in the AFC East, I don't know. Yeah, the Bills are still the front runner because every other team in the AFC East really fucking sucks. Miami sucks, the Jets suck, and the Patriots suck. The
Steelers did try to make a move before the season to get Brandon Ayuk. That didn't work.
Right.
So you could certainly see them being in the hunt for a guy like Davante Adams. I don't know if Davante Adams wants to go there.
Right. And does Davante Adams have that power to veto with the Raiders? Raiders are like, hey, we're going to trade you to the Steelers. Does Davante Adams have that power in his contract to say, no, you can't trade me there?
Here's the thing. Even if he doesn't have that power, if teams don't think he wants to go there, they're not going to offer as much for him. You know,
yeah, sure.
Like when you start making these things very public that I don't want to play for this team and I'm forcing my way out.
Right.
If a team that he doesn't want to play for, like comes in, they're not going to be willing to offer like the most for that guy.
The value
if they
drops,
don't believe
for sure.
that he actually wants to fucking be there anyway.
Yeah. I think he wants to go to New York. I think he'll be good whether he's with the Jets or the Saints. I think the Saints make the most sense, but I think he wants to be reunited with Rodgers.
Yeah, I don't know. The Jets were able to get the ball back. I think there was like a roughing the kicker call on the punt, and so the Jets were able to extend that drive. So the Jets do still have the ball.
And Rodgers is back in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was just being a bitch earlier. Fucking went down, made everybody think it was really bad. All right. Let's get to some of these rants. I see Jose Contreras for $1 over on Rumble. Week 4 recap. Ryan, 7-6. Beardo, 7-6. Jeremy, 7-6.
What was out of previous week?
What's that?
What was out of previous week?
You were positive.
Last week.
You were positive, but I don't really remember what the number was.
I think John, before last week, didn't John have the best record?
I think he had the best record, and then, of course, he just doesn't show up yesterday, so he's probably still got the best record percentage win-wise.
Right.
But I am 31-26 on the season. John's 24-18. Beardo is 27-30.
Ouch. Okay.
So,
to be fair, I was telling Ryan before the stream started. Who's keeping track?
Jose Contreras.
All right, Jose. I was on Game On. I was on Game On podcast this morning.
This is pathetic, by the way.
I have to say it. I have to say it because my record is shit. I have to say it. I did, before the game started, I did pick the Vikings. Okay. Now
what a bold pick to pick the 4-0 fucking Vikings against the Jets. Beardo's like hunting for an extra game in there.
I am. You're damn right I
am. But I was not on stream, but I picked them in my head because it's the Vikings versus the Jets.
Hey, give it to him. Give it to him.
John Getz for a buck. Nittany Lions one step closer to their first chance at the playoffs. Just like the Steelers, they're kind of boring to watch on offense, but defense keeps carrying. Now take care of them boys, Steelers. We were talking about that. We're going to get to the NFL slate here in a little bit, but god damn, dude, there are some rough games when it comes to picking a winner. There's just some bad matchups this week.
Ugly games, gross games.
Yes, which we'll get to. Eric John Pete's artist for 2. With all these big losses this week to unranked teams, chances Notre Dame pops back in the top 10 simply by not playing this week. Any excuse that any of these fucking retards have to put Notre Dame in the top 10, they will take. I don't know if that's likely, but potentially, because Notre Dame is just always so fucking overrated and so overranked historically for the last 25 years. I've watched it happen for no fucking reason whatsoever. Fuck Notre Dame. Fuck the Irish. They're trash. Dog shit. John Getz for a buck. Give Adams to the Steelers. Clearly, they're only one wideout away from a Justin Fields MVP. Come on, Davante. It's not as cold and has better food than Green Bay and not as crime-ridden as New York. I don't know if Davante, if he's picking like, I want to go where these quarterbacks are. I don't know if Justin Fields is that guy that's going to get him on board. In terms of a complete team and a chance to make the playoffs and stuff like that, sure. In terms of Davante, caring about Davante, I don't know how he's going to feel about that. But who knows? Lance for 5. Goddamn, top 11 teams just said, fuck it, let's change the rankings up. Yeah, they definitely did. Now, we didn't even mention Tennessee. I forgot to mention Tennessee. Tennessee gets beat by Arkansas. So top 4, number 4 ranked Tennessee goes down to Arkansas as well. So there is going to be a major shakeup in the top 10 because so many people lost this week. I'd have to imagine old Tejas going right back up there to number 1 after a brief stint away.
When do you think we get an announcement from Sarkisian on who's starting for Texas against Oklahoma? Monday.
He basically has already said Quinn is the guy. Like he's made it pretty clear. In a lot of the statements that I've seen, he's made it very clear that, hey, Quinn is our guy. He is our starting quarterback, and what Arch has been able to do coming in here, that's been awesome. And it's so great to know he can just walk in and play at this level, blah, blah, blah. But he very much has kept the line of Quinn Ewers is the guy. So I think it's going to be Quinn Ewers. Now, could you argue, and he's played fucking great. Like, he really has. It's not like he's struggled or anything. But you would just have to imagine that now with the knowledge of what Arch Manning can do behind him, that any leash that Quinn Ewers may have had if he does struggle for a handful of games has been shortened. I think you can safely say that.
If Texas loses to Oklahoma next weekend, do you think Manning starts against Georgia?
I think it would have to depend on how it goes down. Yeah. If Quinn Ewers goes fucking 35 for 47 for 400 yards, 4 touchdowns, and they lose in a shootout, probably not. Yeah. But if he struggles and if they feel like part of the blame is because of his play, then maybe. It's something interesting to watch. Quarterback controversy for the number 1 ranked team in the country.
Yeah.
And not because one of them's playing shitty, just because both of them are really fucking good.
Yeah.
I guess the only other, UNLV did also lose to Syracuse after they had a big controversy with guys not feeling they got what they were supposed to get out of NIL. NIL has changed so many things. I think it's one of the reasons we're seeing a lot of parity in college football. I feel like a lot of us felt, well, maybe the rich are just going to get richer. I think we've also seen a distribution of talent between that and the transfer portal, and it's made for some interesting results in college football. And I still don't know how I feel about NIL as a whole. But this is where we are. College football is so different than it was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Did you see the beef between Cam Newton and Shedeur Sanders?
I did see Cam Newton go up and try to like greet him, and Shedeur Sanders was like kind of push back on him or something, or didn't want him up there or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, so Cam Newton went up to him, and Shedeur Sanders says, "Man, you're on that weird shit." And Cam's like, "What?" Shedeur's like, "You know what you did? I'll talk to you after the game. Apparently, it had something to do with Cam Newton's podcast, where he said that Shedeur Sanders wasn't as flashy for college football as Johnny Manziel. I guess Cam Newton said that Johnny Manziel was like, I don't know, better.
Shedeur Sanders' hype is nowhere near the levels of Johnny Manziel.
Agreed. But Shedeur Sanders, I guess, had some beef with that. So he was pushing back on Cam Newton, because Cam Newton was like, "Hey, what's up, fam?" Shedeur Sanders like, "Nah, fuck off, man."
I fucking hate the Sanders kids. I just do. Like I've turned into such a fucking Colorado hater at this point, just because it fucking pisses me off the way they act so fucking entitled.
Yeah.
And it's not limited to like Shedeur Sanders or the Sanders kids or Colorado. It's kind of college football at this point. You got these guys who are walking on at 19 years old and getting paid openly millions and millions of dollars. Of course, that changes how the game feels. It doesn't feel like college football anymore. It just feels like another level of professional football, and in a lot of ways, it is. And it's always been that way for some guys out there. You know better than anyone else as a USC fan, Beardo, that it's always been that way for some of these programs, but you couldn't be as open about it. Now these guys are fucking open about it as they can be. Like to see Shedeur Sanders flashing the watches and shit like that when they beat like the 300th best team in the country. Mm-hmm. It fucking pisses me off. It just annoys me.
Storm the field when we beat Baylor.
God, yes. Listen,
ridiculous.
A field storming event. Because a lot of you, there's this one specific dude, this one fucking queer in our comment section, who every time I bitch about people storming the field, he gets very upset at me. Probably because he never won anything in his life and has been mediocre at fucking everything. So he thinks that you should celebrate stuff like that. I'll give you one. I'll finally give you one. Vanderbilt beating the number 1 ranked Alabama Crimson Tide, 100%. That's an acceptable field storming event. Okay,
that was historic.
That's historic. Go after it. It's the number 1 team in the nation. You guys suck. What I can't stand are when the 24th ranked team in the country beat their in-state rivals who aren't even ranked, and you storm the field or some stupid shit like that. Or when Colorado beats Baylor, and Baylor's projected to be like the bottom third of the Big 12 or of the Big 12 or whatever this year. No, that's not a field storming event. Go fuck yourselves.
There was some crazy stat too about Vanderbilt versus top 5 or top 10 teams. They were like 0-60 or something against them, and now they beat Alabama. I don't remember the exact stat, but it was some crazy stat. I don't remember exactly what it was though.
Bro, and this was fucking hilarious, by the way. I got to show you guys this. Vandy played this quote from Nick Saban after the upset over Alabama. This is during the last little victory formation. Time is running out. Watch this. And now up on the scoreboard, on the Jumbotron, look at what they play. It's Nick Saban, because it's a little tough to hear, saying, the only place in the SEC that's not tough to play at is Vanderbilt. And they had that queued up, ready to fucking go after they beat them at Vanderbilt. You got to love that shit. That's so funny.
That's awesome.
That is so funny. So shout out to Vanderbilt. They kept Jeremy away from the stream too, apparently. Apparently that's what happened. Chris Curran for 2. Did someone do a wellness check on Jeremy? Don't know. I think he's okay.
Yeah,
he was more focused on Trump than Alabama yesterday, probably for good reason. Dom H, with 10 gifted memberships.
Let's go.
Thank you very much, Dom H. Andrew, for $10. Morning, fellas. How about those Mets? Yeah, we got to talk about MLB playoffs because, I talked about this in the aftermath of Pete Alonso's clutch 9th inning 3-run bomb that changed the Mets season from, it's fucking over to, oh, fuck, we're moving on. MLB playoffs are great. If you're a baseball fan, MLB playoffs are great to watch because there's so much tension built into every single pitch. But to me, the wild card round, it's tough because for the longest time, it was very difficult to make the Major League Baseball playoffs in general. One wild card team, that was it. Now you've got multiple wild card teams, and the wild card round is a really quick 3-game series. And for a lot of these guys, it's like, you're Astros, John. You win the AL West, you drop 2 games and you're gone. Like just like that, 162 games, and you're in there. You win your division. You're in there against a wild card team. 2 games and it's over.
Yeah, and that's why it's so important to get that number 1 or number 2 seed. I remember when baseball, you had to win your division, or there was no wild card. I mean, most of my life, that's the way it was. So it was very important to win the division.
Yeah, 100%. And now you guys win your division, and the Tigers, who have been very much in win now mode for quite some time. Same thing with the Mets sneaking in that last double header game against the Braves. Mets have been in win now mode for months at this point, and they're playing like it. And then the Mets beat the Brewers, Tigers beat the Astros, and I don't know. I love MLB playoffs, and it's been entertaining as fuck, but I feel like that first round, I would like to see a 5-game series.
Yeah, it really should be best of 5. But
you already have best of 5. Like, these divisional matchups are best of 5 series.
Yeah, but
so
the problem
those are
is
short series as well.
The problem is that the top 2 seeds are just sitting around at home. So 5 games, that's like a week of no baseball almost. Probably not the best for, the playoffs.
And then, the Mets right off that high, they go into Philadelphia. Zach Wheeler throws an incredible game, over 100 pitches, doesn't give up a run. I think maybe gave up 1 hit. Massive swing and a miss rate. And guess what? 8th inning, fucking Mets pop off. If you're a Phillies fan, you got to feel disgusted after yesterday. Feeling like you had the game in the bag. Great performance from your starting pitcher. Boom. Mets are now leading the series in a 5-game series. So it fucking matters.
Yeah.
But what have you guys watched? To me, I think the Padres-Dodgers series, that's the one I'm most invested in at this point, because obviously my Cubs didn't make it, but I was season ticket holder for the Padres for a long time. I watched a lot of those guys play in San Diego. I saw a lot of Dodgers games while I was there as well. That to me is the most interesting matchup of this divisional round. And Shohei Ohtani, first playoff appearance, because again, when you play for the Angels, you don't get many opportunities at the playoffs. Just ask Mike Trout. Shohei, 3-run bomb to tie it up, I think in the 2nd or 3rd inning. That was pretty epic to watch. But I'm having fun watching Major League Baseball playoffs.
Yeah, in the National League.
A little bit more later. I really haven't watched too much of it.
You got depressed after your Astros got shit kicked out of them?
Not really. I mean, eventually the Astros run had to end, and it was kind of the perfect storm now that they would get eliminated.
Well, when you can't cheat, I mean, it's going to catch up to you.
Oh, stop it, man.
In the National League, I mean, it's exciting because you got 2 series here that are divisional matchups.
Yeah. Yeah, you got divisional rivals between the Phillies and the Mets. And I like the Phillies, like, in general. I love Kyle Schwarber. You know what's crazy is that Kyle Schwarber, depending on how long he's on good teams for, he's got an outside shot to be the fucking leader in postseason home runs at some point in his career. Because right now it's old Jose Altuve, who, how many does he have, John? 27, 28?
A lot.
Postseason home runs? Pretty sure Kyle Schwarber has like 21 or 22, which is insane. And obviously, I'll always have love for Kyle Schwarber. He helped us win a World Series on one fucking leg.
Oh, yeah.
Torn ACL in 2016. But he hit a leadoff bomb yesterday that was pretty epic. It's tough. Based on what we see now, what are you guys' World Series predictions?
I still like the Yankees and the Dodgers. I'd love to see that series.
I had questions about the Yankees still, but man, it's tough.
Aaron Judge needs to pick it up at the plate, man.
Sure.
Aaron Judge needs to pick it up. His
Yeah.
playoff performance has been less than desired so far from the plate, from the limited time that we've seen him in the playoffs. People are expecting a lot from this dude who puts up insane numbers in the regular season. Shohei, first postseason appearance, did not disappoint with that 3-run bomb we saw yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
It's tough to pick against the Dodgers with the season that they've had. The Phillies have a ton of postseason experience as well, but they're now sitting down to the Mets. The Guardians, I feel like we have not talked about the Guardians as much as probably should have, because I just don't think they're as fun or interesting of a team, but they have played incredible baseball all year long.
Mm-hmm.
Now it helps when you get to play the White Sox fucking 18 times. That helps your record. I don't know how many of those games they won.
Yeah.
But
hey, how about the Indians and the Phillies? I'm just throwing it out there. I haven't really been paying attention.
Indians and the Phillies.
Like Ryan said, man, Kyle Schwarber turns it on for the postseason. They got Bryce Harper, Nick Castellanos. Those guys, man, that's an incredible lineup right there. The Phillies, man, like you said, they got a lot of experience. They were in the World Series, 2 years ago? It very well could be Yankees, Phillies, but I think Major League Baseball wants Yankees, Dodgers.
I think so. And my gut right now, I really want San Diego to win this series against the Dodgers. I think they got Yu Darvish starting tonight, but or tonight or tomorrow. I don't know when the next game is. But Yu Darvish starting the next game. Yu Darvish is always going to put on a good performance, but my gut tells me the Dodgers are going to make it out of the National League with all the fucking talent they've got. And we might end up with a Yankees-Dodgers World Series, which, just like those two names alone, I'm sure that is something Major League Baseball would want.
Yeah.
That's kind of my gut feeling right now.
It's been 15 years since the Yankees have even been to the World Series.
15 years. 09.
Yeah. 09. Last time they went.
Yep.
It's been a long time. Man.
That's
a long time for the Yankees, I should.
Yeah, you're talking to a Cubs fan, all right? Yeah. So that doesn't seem all that long to me. If the Cubs are back in a World Series 15 years after they won their last one, I would be eternally grateful. It would come as a massive surprise, and I would love that. But somehow I don't.
Well, the Yankees should have went in 2017.
Yeah. What do you think about that, John?
Shoulda.
We were joking before. I said that one of the reasons the Astros struggles because they replaced all the metal trash cans.
They should have went in 04, and they blew a 3-0 lead.
That's true.
They should have went in 02, and they lost to the Angels.
They really should have beat the Diamondbacks in 2001. That was, I can't believe Rivera actually blew that.
He's got to blow one every once in a while.
Yeah, but not in the World Series.
Well, and then they blew it in 03 against the Marlins.
Yeah.
All right. Kenny Curvecock for 2. Jeremy really needs to break away from beating off into his Trump pillow and show his face on this stream. Pathetic and very gay. Hey, what can I say? John Getz for $1. I remember that one time in my life the Pirates made the playoffs. Good times. Still managed to break our hearts by blowing a 2-1 series lead. Is that true? God, the Pirates have only made the playoffs once in the past 30 years. Is that true?
Really?
That's wild, man. And they always have generational talent coming up, and they just fucking blow it.
When did they last? Didn't the Cubs play the Pirates in the wild card round? Is that when they made it? When was the last time? Hold on, I'm gonna look it up. When was the last time the Pirates made the playoffs? 2014 and 2015. I'm almost positive that one of those years, maybe 2015, I don't know which one it is, but I'm pretty sure Jake Arrieta started the game and hit a home run in that wild card victory, if I remember correctly.
I think you're right.
If I remember correctly.
Dude, Jake Arrieta, man, he was different.
He went on a
He had
tear, a couple year tear. That was
Yeah.
insane.
Like 2 years, 2 or 3 years in Chicago, he was just fucking. He was an alien.
What at one season, man? He had like a 1.1 ERA. He just got flaming hot.
It was nuts. And it was basically all. Well, obviously he got into very good shape, and he did it doing Pilates, which for a guy where flexibility is like so important, that makes a ton of sense.
Yeah.
And he just kind of changed a little bit of the angle of like where his feet were positioned while he threw to create a little bit different angle, and it just generated more torque. And he had so much movement on that ball. And yeah, I was glad Jake Arrieta, when he's like 28 years old or something, kind of has a breakthrough, and the Cubs were the beneficiaries of that. He went to the Phillies a little bit later in his career, didn't necessarily have quite the same results, but
That was
Jake
the year they
Arrieta
won
was
the World
a
Series.
huge part of our success during those years.
So the year the Cubs won the World Series is when he went bananas.
I don't remember.
No,
if it was 2015 or 2016.
No. It was 2015. He went 22-6, and he had a 1.77 ERA.
Yeah, it was nuts.
He threw a no-hitter in 2016 when they won the World Series.
He threw 2 in his career.
Back-to-back years.
Yeah, he threw 1 against the Rockies and 1 against the Reds, maybe? Am I right on that?
Let me see.
I remember the Rockies one because I think, wait, maybe it's not, maybe it wasn't against the Rockies. I think I might have been in Denver when he threw the one against the Reds. But either way. Someone said he threw one against the Reds, says Cajun Corey. Somebody said Aaron Rodgers just tore his Achilles again. Did he?
No fucking way.
Nah. Wait a minute.
We haven't been watching. I'm backing
I
it
don't
up.
think that happened.
We did see him go down with what looked like that knee injury earlier, but
but he came back in the game.
I'm pretty sure. I don't even think they have the fucking ball right now. So
Yeah, I'd have seen something.
I don't know. Maybe. Probably not. But anyway, let's get back to some of these. Jose Contreras for $1. John went 8-7 the week prior. 57% win percentage. Ryan 54%. Beardo 47%.
Damn.
Okay.
There you go. Beardo's working his way back up, though.
I'm trying.
He's working his way back up. McCock for 2. I'm crying about my Astros. What can you do, McCock? I know somebody else who was crying as well, and it wasn't John. Gabriel Knight for 10. The Vandy students managed to tear down the goalposts, carry it all the way down Broadway in downtown Nashville, and throw it in the Cumberland River. Pretty fun stuff. Yes, I did see that. I saw the fire department pulling it out of the fucking river. Dom H for 5. Where's Jeremy? Can't wait to come on after Alabama wins. Wonder why he didn't show today. Y'all know what it is. Can't handle it. McCucker Nuggets for 10. Just hoping the Steelers can muster up some offense in the first half against the dumbass Cowboys. Be well, guys. That's a game I'm not going to look forward to picking. Stahl, 14 for 5. Ryan, don't leave out the Hogs upset. Oh, we got it. We talked about it. Thank you, Stahl. James K. Vandy quarterback is from NMSU. Hashtag wobble on. New Mexico State. Northern Michigan State. Northern Minnesota Seminary University. I don't know. Austin LeBleu for 10. Ohio State and Texas are the clear 2 best teams in the country. Alabama lost to fucking Vandy. There's no recovering from that. Tennessee stinks. Indiana is rolling. Go Bucks. Indiana does look good, which sucks because Purdue is so fucking bad that the one thing that I can have this year is if Purdue does beat IU in the Oak Bucket game. So it's not looking great this year, but maybe. You never know. That's what I'm holding on to hope for. Austin, the MLB postseason is one of the best postseason atmosphere there is. My Guardians look great. Let's fucking go. They do. And again, I don't think they're getting as much attention, probably as everyone else. But Kansas City has to feel a little bit shitty, chasing Garrett Cole so early and, letting the Yankees get back in that game. Because, going up against Garrett Cole, man, if you're putting 3 runs up on Garrett Cole in the first, 3 or 4 innings or whatever it was before he got pulled, that's a win. Like, you take that. You don't get many of those against somebody like Garrett Cole. So maybe feel a little down that they let that one get away from them. How about Army and Navy being 5-0? I wonder when the last time that happened was. It's probably like fucking 1935 or something. Like the last time Army and Navy were both 5-0. CG for 5 is NIL a net positive or negative? Same question on transfer portal. I don't know. For people that have loved college football for a long time and some of the kind of purity of college football, which is so much more about the team than individual players at times and stuff like that. Overall, I think it's a negative. But if we're talking about parity and the ability for teams to turn things around very quickly, I think it's probably a positive, you know? So it's tough.
The transfer portal really changed things more than NIL. I mean, guys are getting paid before anyway, probably not on this level, but the portal has really changed college football.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. I think the transfer portal has a bigger impact on college football than NIL does.
Yeah, because when you have guys who have spent, 4 years at kind of maybe a little bit of a lower tier school as a starting quarterback, got so many of these reps and shit, and then go in at 23, 24 years old and very experienced, polished, take over a quarterback for a team that is in one of these bigger conferences or does have a better chance, that can really change the dynamic for a team.
You can also see a player or quarterback do 4 years, graduate, and then transfer to a top 5 school whose quarterback just declared.
Some guy is going to be playing in his 7th year. That's crazy.
Yeah, I seen that yesterday.
His name is Bo Nix. He came back.
No. There was a matchup yesterday where both starting quarterbacks, one was in their 5th year senior and the other one was 7th year senior. I forget what game it was, but I believe they played each other yesterday.
That's great. Well, isn't Sam Darnold younger than Bo Nix? No, he's younger than Joe Burrow. He's younger than Joe Burrow, which is it feels weird to say that.
Bo Nix is 3 years older than Stroud,
Zach Wilson,
than CJ Stroud.
Oh,
Bo Nix is 3 years older than CJ Stroud.
What was the name of the Florida State quarterback? 1999. He was like 26, 27 years old. Who was it?
Heisman winner.
Yeah, he played in the NFL. Why is his name slipping my mind?
It's not Werfel, is it?
Chris Winkie.
Chris Winkie. That's it. Yeah, I knew it was a W. There it is. I was thinking Danny Werfel for some reason. Bo Nix age. Yeah, Bo Nix is only 24. He's only 24. He does not as old as we think he is.
The Miami tight end Cam McCormick is in his ninth. He's in his 9th year of college football because
he's had a bunch of injuries and shit.
COVID injury and the extra year that you get from graduating.
Man, this is crazy. Chris Winkie is 52 years old, man. Wow.
Yeah, he was like 27 or something when he won the Heisman, right?
Yeah.
McCock for 5. Jeremy, I can't wait to talk football. Also, Jeremy, F this show isn't gay. Where's Trump? 199, Titanfall 2, basically. Emilio with 20 gifted memberships. Thank you, Emilio. Anthony Buck. That's a big 20 right there. That's a lot of fucking memberships turning the chat green, Emilio. Thank you.
Yeah.
Anthony Buck. Padres got cooked, so we got to do better tonight. Hey, Manny got off to a hot start. He started it off right with that bomb. But Spirian for 199 with a super sticker. Thank you, Spirian. Fear the Hammers. Go Fighting Irish. Fuck Notre Dame. All right. Fuck Notre Dame. John Getz for $1 on Rumble. My bad. They made the wild card one more time, but I think I started my life with 20 straight losing seasons, so I got pretty hyped when they finally made it. Understandable mistake. And Jonathan Bordeaux, hold on. I still haven't laughed at Alabama enough. Yes, it is maybe the most embarrassing loss in Alabama, like modern day history. Like what was the worst loss in the Nick Saban era? Did they ever I believe in like one of Saban's first seasons, they lost to like Northwestern Alabama State High School or whatever, like one of these super tiny little teams that they bring and they pay you to come play a cupcake game against them.
Yeah.
But that might have been like one of Saban's very early years. This is a bad loss for them.
Mm-hmm.
A very bad loss. Oh, yes. University of Louisiana Monroe.
Oh,
That's
okay.
right. That's right. Well, we got to talk about NFL, because we're
gotta-
sitting here right now. Jets are trailing in the fourth quarter by
But
10
it's a
to the
game.
Vikings.
It's a game, though.
It is a game. The Jets defense has done a pretty decent job of shutting down Minnesota. It helped that Aaron Jones got hurt pretty early on in the game. That team's a little. I talked about this a lot over the past couple weeks as Minnesota's been on this run. Aaron Jones is so big for them if he can stay healthy, and that was always his problem. With the Packers, you're always going to miss a couple games. Aaron Jones just gets dinged up. As great as he is on the field, when he's on there, he does get dinged up. As a frequent Aaron Jones fantasy owner, I can confirm that's the case.
Yeah.
But
Aaron Rodgers just got sacked, man. He's
Aaron Rodgers
getting
looks
beat
miserable
up in this game.
Yeah.
He looks like an old miserable
Yeah,
man.
he does.
Just for the record,
Just got a 50 bomb. A 50 bomb.
50?
A cock with a 50 gifted memberships. Holy smokes.
that's a lot.
Nice.
That's
50
a lot
gifted
of.
McCock, who is drowning his sorrows in gifted memberships after his Astros got bounced so quickly from the playoffs. That wild card round, 3 of the series were 2-game sweeps, and the other one did go 3 games. But it's like, man, it's just over in a flash. 162 games, you win your division, and it's over in 2 days. I don't know. Remember, it was a 1-gamer. You guys remember that?
Yeah. That's when it was just.
When they
I
first-
love that. I love those 1-game
2
eliminations.
wild card teams, and one of them.
Yep.
I mean, it
play
generates
sudden
so
death.
much tension, but it's like, but again, it's like, fuck, man, 162 regular season games,
But
and you get 1 game.
at least it was against 2 wildcard teams, though.
Correct. Exactly. That was when they had 2. They just introduced 2 wild card teams for the first time.
Yep.
And so it was both of those teams. Your 163rd game of the season is a elimination game. So
I love that. I love those games.
Yeah, but baseball makes it super important. Win a division and be the 1 or 2 seed to avoid that.
Do you remember that? Was it the Atlanta Braves that had that super controversial infield fly rule call? That was in the wild card games several years ago, right?
I'm trying to remember
Maybe.
it.
I remember
Pretty
one
sure.
with the Kansas City Royals. I think it was when the Royals went to the World Series when they played the San Francisco Giants, I think. And they played the Angels. They won the wild card game. It was like they won it in a walk-off, I think, in the 9th inning, and they went to go play the number 1 Angels. And they swept the Angels. I remember because I went to game 1.
I have never had the pleasure of going to a MLB playoff game. It's one of the things I've never been to. I've been to
Me neither.
NFL playoff games. I've been to NBA playoff games. I got fucking hammered. I got hammered. I think it was
Attaboy.
Bulls Wizards playoff series. I got fucking destroyed. And I was screaming at Derrick Rose. By the way, Derrick Rose retired. I think, was it this week that Derrick Rose retired, or maybe last week?
Yep.
Bro, there's an alternate universe I wish I could travel to where Derrick Rose doesn't get injured, doesn't tear his ACL in that series against the 76ers when they were up like 14 points. If you play for Tom Thibodeau, he's gonna get everything out of that team. He's also probably gonna injure all of them. That is the Tom Thibodeau experience. But
there was some questions on whether or not he's getting into the Hall of Fame. In my book, he's not a Hall of Famer.
Who,
at
Derrick
all.
Rose?
No, he's not.
No, he's not a Hall of Famer. No.
But he's probably going to get in though. I mean, the NBA, Pro Basketball Hall of Fame,
Basketball Hall of Fame is different.
It's much different.
And it also
he shouldn't have got that MVP that he won either. I mean, I'm not a LeBron fan, but LeBron clearly should have won that MVP.
Well, we talk about this all the time when it comes to MVP. It's not just about did you have the best season? A lot of it matters how the team does as well.
Yeah,
and
the
because
Bulls they won 60 games.
Yeah, they won 61, 62, somewhere around there. The Bulls were incredible, and Derrick Rose was the reason for that. Field goal percentage, very questionable efficiency, stuff like that. I was sitting there making those arguments as well during that Derrick Rose MVP, and I'm so glad he won it. But there's a different reality where Derrick Rose doesn't get hurt, and I would love to see what that would have been. But a great career when you consider all things for Derrick Rose, a resurgence as well towards the end. So
yeah.
Bye, Derrick
The
Rose.
NBA needs its own Hall of Fame.
You think so?
Yeah, they do. They do.
Mm.
I mean, just like the NFL. Well, the NFL is the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Well, that's pretty much NFL, but baseball doesn't have its own Hall of Fame either. Like MLB doesn't. So they consider, the Negro leagues and the Japanese leagues, all that other stuff. But I believe the NBA definitely needs its own Hall of Fame. Because when you actually see like, and this is no offense, like WNBA players getting put into the Hall of Fame.
You're like, oh, Pat Summitt inducted it. And you're like, okay, yeah, Pat Summitt, legendary women's basketball coach. Okay. All right. Like, I get what you mean when it comes to that. Yeah. That does make sense. It'd be like if lingerie football league players were being inducted in the Football Hall of Fame.
Now, no doubt, Pat Summitt's a Hall of Famer.
100%. But it's, and I'm not. But it's like, yeah, like it's such a different thing to compare when you're talking about.
Yeah, you can't compare it.
Pat Summitt, who a legendary women's basketball coach during a time where nobody fucking cared about women's basketball at all. Do you know what I mean? So it's so difficult to make comparisons to somebody like that getting inducted versus, say, when Greg Popovich might go into the Hall of Fame or whatever, even though he's a fucking woke loser now. But still, like I don't know if you could. I agree. You should probably have a separate one based on the genders.
I'm pretty sure the Baseball Hall of Fame is for MLB only nowadays.
Well,
no,
yeah,
but
Negro leagues aren't playing anymore.
The Negro leagues players.
Well, John said Japan. They're not putting Japanese baseball players.
I didn't hear that part.
Oh, okay. But still, it's not
only
really,
for Major League Baseball.
But with the Negro leagues also as well. So it's
in the 30s and 40s.
Yeah.
Okay, that's different.
Bro, there was I don't know if you guys remember that. I made a video for sports. It was a couple years ago, and like the president of the fucking Negro League Association, something or other, got really triggered at me on Twitter.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I forgot what I said. I'm sure it was some woke bullshit that was happening, and he got really upset with me. But yeah, these things happen. But anyway, let's get back to. Minnesota just turned the ball over.
Yeah,
let's have good field position. Let's see Aaron Rodgers if you can do something.
Throw another pick.
But as we're keeping an eye on all of this stuff that's happening right now, as Alan Lazard gets an 8-yard gain, we got some games to pick. As always, the first one that appears for me is the Panthers.
Panthers.
Listen, I have accurately predicted every Bears game so far this year. I've picked them to win twice. I've picked them to lose twice. I am scared with Andy Dalton. I thought this game was going to be easier when I knew it was Bryce Young's bitch ass. The Panthers probably not happy with the way some of these trades went down. They've got a lot to play for. The Red Rifle's out there doing all his stuff. I got to take the Chicago Bears at home. Bear down, baby.
Yeah, this wasn't even a question for me here. I was going to pick the Bears. Andy Dalton, I really forgot he was in the league, man. It seems like he's been in the league 30 years. But, he's
still like 37 now, something like that.
Yeah. He's a local boy from Katy.
Bears defense has been impressive. The Bears offense, they really haven't found their they really haven't gone to a groove, man. This is a weird fucking game. I think the Panthers cover that +4. And I think the Panthers win, man. I think they go into Chicago and win. I think it's going to be a close game. I think this is a good game. I think it's a good game. I think the Panthers win by like a field goal.
Okay, so they're not just going to cover. They're going to win outright.
Well, yeah. They're going to cover that 4 points and they're going to win.
All right. Yes, I like this game with Bryce Young as quarterback is a fucking easy all day bet on Bears. With Andy Dalton, it's a different story because Andy Dalton's actually a competent quarterback. And we just saw what Carolina was able to do against the Bengals. Granted, the Bengals have struggled this year as well. They put up a lot of points. This Bears defense is solid. It's really fucking good. Running defense, little bit of room for improvement. I feel like the offense made some good strides last week after being completely unable to protect Caleb Williams for the first couple weeks. No run game at all for the first couple weeks. I think a lot of those guys had a fire lit under their ass. There's still a lot of room for improvement, and there's way too many fucking penalties on these Bears offensive linemen, whether it's pre-snap or holds or things like this. They have a lot of room for improvement, but they found a good groove last week, and they didn't have the ball a ton, but when they did, they were able to execute. They were fairly efficient. Caleb Williams under pressure ended up being, I think, the best rated quarterback under pressure of the week. So I'm looking forward to see if this team gets a little bit better this week as well. Ravens at the Bengals.
Such a weird game.
Yeah.
It's a weird game. I think that based off what I've seen of the Ravens, I have to go with the Ravens with the way they've been playing. I do have criticisms of the Ravens. I feel like the games that they've won, they should have won by more. And I feel like they probably shouldn't have lost some of those games they did lose. I feel like they're a better team, a much better team than the record indicates, but they don't play up to it. But based on the struggles we've seen from the Bengals, their inability to stop anyone on defense,
the Bengals
whether that's
don't look good.
They just don't look good. And so I got to pick the Ravens in this game.
Man. And that's my Super Bowl pick, man. I'm not jumping off the bandwagon yet, man. I'm not jumping off yet. Give me the Bengals with no confidence whatsoever. I got to stick by my guns. Beardo, you got to do it too, man. This your pick too.
Yeah. I think the Ravens are going to have a little bit of a hangover from that beatdown they put on the Bills last week. I think Derrick Henry has a slow day today. He had a huge game last week. I don't think we see that from Derrick Henry today. And the Bengals got to pick it up sooner or later. I like the Bengals today at home.
I mean, this isn't like a walkover for the Ravens or anything like that. The Bengals obviously have a lot to play for. Their season's on the line. If they open 1-4, like it's going to be tough for them. So they got a lot riding on this. I can't pick against the Ravens today, though, even though it is at the Bengals. Now we get into some dog shit games.
Yeah.
Like Dolphins, Patriots. What the fuck am I supposed to think about this game? Like, what the fuck am I supposed to think about this game? These two quarterbacks are both fucking awful. At least one's more athletic than the other, I suppose.
Tyler Huntley's starting.
Tyler Huntley is starting.
Tyler Huntley's starting again. His second week in this Dolphins offense. He's got another week of practice under his belt. Dolphins defense fucking sucks. And the Patriots just all around suck. I like the Patriots to cover. And I like the Patriots to win too.
I'm picking the Patriots because it's at home. That's the only reason I'm picking them.
I like the Patriots. Give me the Patriots.
Man.
I do think there's a chance that Huntley looks a little bit better this week. There was a lot of miscommunication and uncertainty last week. I don't know why they went out and got a guy like Tyler Huntley. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Yep.
That Miami Dolphins offense, there's so much going on. There's so many motions. There's so many things and disguises that they're doing. I don't think you need a guy who can just fucking run around. I think you need a guy who's a little more cerebral, a little more intellectual. And, that's why too his brain injuries and brain damage are probably going to be such a long-term problem from him.
Ryan Tannehill. The Dolphins are Ryan Tannehill away from being good again. Give me the Patriots. Tyler Huntley doesn't fit good in this offense. Tyreek Hill, here's a prediction. I think Tyreek Hill finds himself back on the Chiefs later this season.
Really?
Rasheed Rice is out. Travis Kelce isn't effective right now.
I don't think there's any way that happens. I don't think the Dolphins let that happen.
Yeah.
If the Dolphins season's done, if the Dolphins season's done, they still have Jalen Waddle on his rookie contract, I believe.
Uh-oh.
And Tyreek, what happened?
We got a game now. Touchdown Jets.
Garrett Wilson.
Yeah.
Tyreek Hill is bitching. He's throwing tantrums. I think Tyreek Hill gets traded, and I think the Chiefs might be the team to do it.
Well, I don't know. Like, I think he's. I was just going to look up Tyreek Hill's fucking contract because I don't know what it is. I don't know when it actually expires. Tyreek Hill contract. Let's see.
I'll take the
This
Patriots
year,
right away.
hold on. Hill and the Dolphins have agreed to a new deal to pay the All-Pro receiver $90 million over 3 years, including $65 million in guaranteed money. That was this year, this offseason. I just don't see a way that I don't know. I don't see a way that happens. I think they want him there long term. I don't think they're going to trade him, and I don't know if the fucking Chiefs have enough cap space to make that happen either.
They'll just kick the can down the road. That's what they always do. That's what all these teams do. They just kick the can down the road. They figure it out.
But so what was your pick in this game, John?
Patriots, no confidence. I don't really even care.
All right. Browns, Commanders. This is also a game that I am not like super eager about. Every Browns game is ugly. Jaden Daniels is obviously played. Jaden Daniels is obviously kind of played out of his mind, and they have completely the right approach with that offense where they're going to run a fuck ton. They're going to give Jaden Daniels basically like a read to make or an option to run it, and he's making all the right decisions right now. He just is. And finally, in that last game, we saw him air it out a little bit, a handful of times. But still, the majority of what they're having him do is, within 5 to 10 yards of the line of scrimmage. And it's incredibly effective and incredibly efficient for them right now. He's got like over an 80% completion percentage. I have to pick Commanders at home.
Give me the Redskins. The Browns are abysmal. Too. The Browns have no identity. Deshaun Watson doesn't want to play football. The only guy he's got a connection with is Amari Cooper. Give me the Redskins. And if you're on Prize Picks, Zach Ertz, anytime touchdown. Zach Ertz is scoring a touchdown today.
Yeah, I would also look at that Amari Cooper. I think it was more than 55 or more than 60 yards receiving. He's really the only person that's consistently doing anything for that team. And the Commanders, not great pass defense-wise. So pay attention to that Amari Cooper more than 55 or 60 yards, whatever it is.
Yeah, I'm never going to pit Deshaun Watson to win a game again. That is the worst contract in history. He's not good. Give me the Redskins. That's it.
I'll tell you what. If Deshaun Watson didn't have all that guaranteed money, Jameis Winston would be starting for the Browns right now.
They probably, if they didn't have that much invested, they probably would just give Jameis Winston a chance, which it would be more fun to watch, but it would also end in disaster. Let's just be honest.
Yep.
The only 30-30 man in NFL history.
30 for 30. Yep.
Colts Jags with our man Joe Flacco, the elite Joe Flacco, starting for the Indianapolis Colts against a Jacksonville team that has imploded.
Mm-hmm.
They need to win badly.
They need a win.
They definitely. Nobody expected them to be this bad.
I am going with the road dog. I'm going with elite Joe Flacco with a week to get ready. I think Joe Flacco gives them a better chance to win than Anthony Richardson. I've been down on Anthony Richardson ever since we first started seeing him. Obviously got injured last year, but I just think, and we kind of saw it last week, Flacco can handle that offense. He can run that offense. And I like the Colts better with Flacco than I do with Anthony Richardson.
I agree. Joe Flacco is a much better quarterback than Anthony Richardson. Everyone's thinking the Jaguars have to win one. They got to win one. This is not the week. Oh. The locker room.
There was also a lot of locker room shit going on right now.
Yeah.
Like the statements that you have, from Doug Peterson defending the coaching staff and saying the players have to execute. There's a lot of animosity right now going on there. When you start 0-4, it's not a surprise why, when you didn't expect to be like that. But
100%, yeah. There's a lot of nonsense going on in that Jaguars locker room. Travis Etienne, there's rumors that he's going to get traded. It's not looking good for the Jaguars. Give me the Colts on the road. The Colts are going to win outright.
Give me the Jags.
Fuck.
It's got to start, man. One game, man. One game. That's all they need.
So I believe the Colts are also without Anthony Richardson today. Jonathan Taylor. My bad.
Oh, really?
I think Jonathan Taylor's out today.
Well, that might change my mind. Is Jonathan Taylor hurt?
Correct me if I'm wrong, chat. I believe, yeah, Jonathan Taylor out.
Out for week 5.
Yep, Jonathan Taylor out.
Want to change it, Ryan?
I already picked it, so I'm sticking with the Colts, but that does make it a little more of a struggle. But you know what? I'm going to have a little faith in old Joe Flacco, all right?
He's
a little faith in the most elite quarterback who's ever played, and that is Joe fucking Flacco.
It does make it interesting with Jonathan Taylor out. I still like the Colts.
All right. Bills, Texans. What this is going to be a fucking awesome game.
Yeah, this is going to be a good one. I saw this and I was really, really struggling, man, on which way to go. Now the Texans are at home.
This is another really weird fucking game, man. All the rest of these games are weird.
So the Texans have not looked great. They are 3-1, but they have not looked great. They haven't necessarily been clicking as much as, we had seen, or we had maybe expected them to be clicking. Justin Jefferson just dropped the fucking ball. Oh,
yep. Oh my God. Yep. He's lucky.
That does not happen often.
That does not happen often. He was out of bounds. So.
I'm taking the Texans at home against the Bills. If this game was played in Buffalo, I'm taking Buffalo all day long.
That's what I was thinking.
I think that Buffalo, we have kind of seen this from Buffalo over the years. Josh Allen will like fucking ignite something in his brain and go crazy for a fucking like half a football or a game, and then the next week they come out and they look a little down. Mm-hmm. I think the Bills are going to play good. I think this is going to be back and forth. You got a lot of interesting things going on here. Stephon Diggs, obviously, for the Texans now, playing against his former team, the Bills. But overall, I'm taking the Texans.
This is rough, man. This is rough because the Bills just got their asses spanked. So you think that this is going to be a week where the Bills are really going to try to beat the shit out of their opponent. Texans haven't been living up to expectations this year. I believe Joe Mixon is still out.
Yep.
Tank Dell is back, though, in the lineup. So this is weird, man. I take the over in this game. I like the Bills, though. Give me the Bills.
All right. Who do you got, John?
I said the Texans.
Texans. All right. Raiders, Broncos. Another disgusting game that I want nothing to do with.
Man.
The Raiders obviously undergoing a little bit of chaos right now. The Broncos have not looked great, but they've won a couple games now. Bo Nix, has he thrown a passing touchdown yet?
I think he did last week. No, sorry.
He
did.
Right?
He did in the second half last week against the Jets, I believe.
That's right. I'm going Broncos at home against the Raiders. Raiders minus Davante Adams, who's hurt but not really hurt.
A little bit of an update here. Minnesota just kicked the field goal with 3 minutes left.
No Davante Adams. No Max Crosby. There's a little bit of mischief going on in that Raiders locker room. Are the Raiders trying to tank? Is Mark Davis trying to get Antonio Pierce? Is he trying to push Antonio Pierce out the door? Is Davante Adams going to get traded? Who fucking knows? Give me the Raiders in Denver. Minshew magic, okay? The Broncos offense sucks. Bo Nix fucking sucks. Give me the Raiders.
I agree with what you said about the Broncos, but I'm still picking them.
Oh.
Who do you got, John?
Oh, I thought I had said it already.
You thought you said it, but now you don't remember. See?
The Raiders.
The Raiders.
Oh,
the Raiders.
Right. We got a lot of road dogs that are getting picked on this stream today. Cardinals, 49ers, finally one I feel okay about. 49ers.
49ers.
All day, every day in this one. Bro, like Kyler Murray is going to go down in history as like such a quandary, such like a strange athlete and a pick and a guy who when he looks great, he looks unbeatable. But the problem is then there's like there's 3 other quarters to the game. And 49ers, give me 49ers all day.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
49ers defense is just insane. Fred Warner, apart from TJ Watt, I think Fred Warner might be the best defensive player in the league. Brock Purdy, he's really getting confident with his deep passes. Juwan Jennings, his connection with Juwan Jennings is fucking crazy. And Kyle Shanahan, he's a little pissed at Ayuk because of that whole shorts incident last week. Doesn't matter, man. You got George Kittle. He's back there. He's healthy. Give me the 49ers all fucking day, man. Juwan Jennings, anytime touchdown, too. He's scoring today.
Yeah, I think Jordan Mason has like the second most red zone touches of any player in the NFL right now. This also does beg the question, when are they getting CMC back? And Jordan Mason's done great. Obviously, they've got a great run scheme and everything like that. But CMC is different, especially with what he's capable of doing when you get the ball in his hands receiving wise. Not that Jordan Mason's a clown or anything like that, but it's just a difference. Like, it's very clear the 49ers hid everything from everyone about Christian McCaffrey's injuries.
Yep.
They're now saying he has Achilles tendonitis in both legs. And we have no idea when this motherfucker is going to come back.
I don't think he comes back until the playoffs.
Maybe. And maybe they do have that luxury that they're able to sit him for that long. But, all right. Packers, Rams.
Gross.
Yeah.
Gross.
I fucking picked the Packers last week, right? Fucking laid an egg. Not laid an egg, but they did not play well. Jordan Love, wore Brett Favre's jersey to honor him after the Parkinson stuff and everything like that. He played like Brett Favre, 3 touchdowns, 3 picks. This one is tough. I'm picking Green Bay. I don't feel great about it, but I just think that they're a better team than the Rams.
Give me the Rams.
Give me the Rams.
Give me the Rams.
Time.
Matt Stafford just finds a way, man. He just finds a way.
You know, who he didn't find a way against last week.
The Chicago last week. Bears, yeah, that's right. Yeah, he made a crucial mistake last week too.
Well, that's what happens when you're playing that Bears defense, you know.
Yeah.
They make every quarterback look like Daniel Jones.
Daniel Jones hasn't had a turnover since week 1.
Which was a pick 6.
He's still Daniel Jones.
Speaking of, Daniel Jones goes up to Seattle to play the Seahawks. I got Seahawks all day in this one. This
Me
isn't
too.
like a troll beardo thing or anything, but this is Seahawks. I'm taking them.
Seahawks.
I'm not trying to be a homer. This is not a homer pick. Okay.
Have you picked against the Giants yet this year?
I think so. Actually, I don't think so.
I don't think you have either. I
don't think so. This is a weird game, man. No Malik Neighbors. He's out. Devin Singletary. He's out. Look for a big game from Wan'Dale Robinson. You also have Jalen Hyatt, who's been a little quiet all year. If you're on Prize Picks, take Jalen Hyatt more on his longest reception, which I believe is 14.5 yards. He's going to get plus 14.5 yard reception today. This is a weird fucking game, man. The Giants defense is actually really good. Brian Burns, Dexter Lawrence, you got McFadden as well. Deontay Banks, he's going to be one-on-one with DK Metcalf today. I think Metcalf wins that matchup, but at what point does Geno Smith have the time in the pocket with the Giants rushing defense? If you're just looking at the spread, I think the Giants cover.
So, but you're picking the Giants.
I'm still going to pick the Giants to win. I'm still going to pick the Giants to win. I'm picking the Giants to win, but if you're betting, take the Giants to cover. 7 points is a lot in this game, I believe.
All right. There you go. Beardo picks the Giants to no surprise. Cowboys, Steelers. This is a game I fucking hate. I finally picked the Steelers last week, and what'd they do? Well, they fucking played like shit and lost to the Colts. Now, if Anthony Richardson played that whole game, I still think that the Steelers probably would have won, to be honest with you. Steelers at home. The Cowboys have struggled
I don't know what to make of the Cowboys defense.
I have to pick the Steelers. I don't want to. I want to pick the Cowboys, but I have to pick the Steelers.
I want to pick the Cowboys. The Cowboys should beat the Steelers. Maybe I'm actually picking this with emotion. I'm picking the Cowboys. No confidence. We got some problems. One week the defense shows up, the next week it doesn't. I don't know what to make of it.
Listen, the Cowboys defense fucking sucks. Micah Parsons.
What's crazy is it's not that much different than it was last year, and they were really solid last year.
Right.
Like,
Micah Parsons.
Off.
Parsons is not playing today. No Micah Parsons.
Oh, God.
The Cowboys defense sucks. Steelers are going to win this game at home. I think this is a field goal game. I think this game, take the under on this game. I think this is like a 9-6. I don't know if there's going to be a touchdown scored in this game. Huge kicker matchup. You got Boswell for the Steelers, Brandon Aubrey for the Cowboys, the two best kickers in the NFL this year. Both offenses fucking stink. And here's some prize picks for you. Take Aubrey and Boswell on field goals in prize picks. Also, TJ Watt on sacks in prize picks. Also, Dak anytime interception on prize picks.
I forgot to give out one of my picks. Daniel Jones touchdown to the other team. I think you can always bet on that one in this game against the Seahawks.
Sure.
But yeah, there's a lot of interesting ones out there for prize picks right now. And shout out to them. We appreciate them. So what was your pick, Beardo?
I'm going Steelers.
Steelers. All right.
Yeah.
And then we might as well talk about this Monday night game. Bro, the Chiefs might be the worst 4-0 team we've seen in a while.
They have not been impressive.
They're winning, but the injuries just keep piling up for them. Patrick Mahomes takes out Rashee Rice in the same way that Rashee Rice took out a bunch of cars on a freeway. The Saints have looked a little up and down at times. I got to pick the Chiefs at home. I can't pick against the Chiefs at home until they prove.
Does Rashee Rice have an ACL tear or what?
He's done.
I don't know.
Put him on IR.
They did, but from what I understand, they have not confirmed a total ACL tear yet. Have
they haven't. They haven't confirmed that.
No, he may have escaped a full ACL tear, because he's not on season-ending IR. I think he's on no. Week 1.
He's on a 2-1.
Yeah.
Give me the Saints.
I'm picked the Chiefs. Not very confident in his pick either. That offense is not impressive, man. Patrick Mahomes does not look the same at all. And Rashee Rice not being there either. The Saints have a good chance to win, but I'm going to pick the Chiefs.
Well, people are all jokingly, Taylor Swift destroyed Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce is just old. He's just taking
that's what I've been saying. He is old.
Mm-hmm. He's just old. But
last game he was okay.
But he still does get a lot of attention from teams. Teams scheme around Travis Kelce because they know what a favorite target he is. So
I'm not buying into I'm not buying into the teams that double teaming him because all the great players get double teamed. He's just old. He just turned 35, right?
Well, he's both. Yeah. He is old and can't get the separation that he used to.
Yeah.
But also,
he's got a lot of mileage.
Shadow him. Teams do shadow him. Typically, they'll have a linebacker and a safety kind of over the top. They're trying to take Travis Kelce away from Patrick Mahomes. And honestly, I don't know if you could argue with that strategy. Patrick Mahomes has struggled this year. He just has. They don't have some of the same weapons that maybe he's used to having.
The defense is carrying this team.
And they're making plays when they have to. Everyone's going to blame, the refs, the referees. And listen, this is what good teams do. They fucking win in crunch time. The Chiefs have been there. They continue to win in crunch time.
The Bengals should have won, but that guy got that hair early.
That's a pick.
Yeah, that's
Vikings
a pick.
Just won.
The Vikings just won.
Aaron Rodgers threw an interception, and he looks even more miserable than before.
Wow. Wild.
It looked like a great play, though. It looked like a great play, honestly.
If you're betting on the spread on this game, take the Saints to cover. and I'm going to pick the Saints to win outright.
There you go. Well, there's our picks. Vikings are the first 5-0 team. Let's catch up with some of these rants and super chats, guys. Let's see. Where are we? Jose Contreras. We didn't talk about this. Thank you for the reminder because it happened on like Monday or something. I'm watching this interception replay. Oh yeah, what? It's done. Jose Contreras, did you guys talk about Pete Rose? Also, Gary said he'll go to a World Series game if the Padres make it. Maybe you should tag along. That would be cool. Yeah, Pete Rose passed away, and I specifically blame Beardo. Beardo killed Pete Rose. As soon as Beardo randomly brought up Pete Rose and said that he was the greatest baseball player of all time on this stream last week, one day later, Pete Rose dies.
Yep, the very next day.
I do think it was him. It's so wild. And the MLB got a ton of heat for, like, in the aftermath of that, for him not being in the Hall of Fame, especially with the current state of sports in general. And not to say that people should be allowed to bet on their own teams or anything like that, but when every single event has embraced, sports gambling, and I have no problems with that. I think that's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
But when every single place has embraced sports gambling, and you have this guy not in the Hall 50 years after the fact, after he, may have bet on himself on baseball, all this shit, it just seems ridiculous for the Major League Baseball to still hold him out, and they'll probably put him in now that he's died, and it's just kind of a shame.
Considering, some of the steroid guys like David Ortiz got in. David Ortiz was in a report for steroids. They put him in. Pete Rose should have been in. Will he actually get in now? I'm not really sure. The old commissioner actually came out and said that no, he shouldn't be in. He's a Hall of Famer. We all know that. Whether, just like Clemens and Bonds, they're all Hall of Famers, man. They all are.
I'm not sure exactly how it works, but Pete Rose had a lifetime ban.
Yeah, he did have a lifetime ban.
And he's dead now. So that lifetime ban's over. He's going to the Hall of Fame.
But didn't Shoeless Joe Jackson, he never got in, right?
No.
Yeah, he's been dead forever.
There is a little bit of a difference, though, in those two. The Chicago Black Sox, it's not that they were gambling on sports. They coordinated with basically like a bunch of bookies and shit like that to throw that World Series.
Yeah,
those are the allegations that were brought against the Chicago Black Sox 100 years ago. When you look at Shoeless Joe Jackson's numbers, maybe it doesn't really make sense that he would have been part of that based on how well he played throughout the series. Mm-hmm. But that is, to me, that is much worse than betting on your own team to win games, intentionally throwing games.
Correct.
But those are always, but when you do, I don't think that players should be allowed to gamble in their own sports or on like in games that they're involved in. I just don't think it should happen. I bet on fucking everything else. But I don't think you should do it just because it does throw in the idea of the perception that this is not real, that it might have, that maybe some players are intentionally doing this or that. And every once in a while, we do find out stuff like that happens. A guy in the NBA fucking got banned just last year for that shit. So I do think that there is a difference. Overall, Pete Rose deserves to be in the Hall of Fame 100%. And RIP to the man. It's good to see him getting all the love.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's catch up with more. John Getz, they needed intellectual. You mean like a Harvard graduate? The Dolphins are calling in Ryan Fitzpatrick. What I'm saying is that Tyler Huntley is not the person I would have picked to run that offense at all.
You need a pocket passer.
And you need someone who's very comfortable running an offense.
Right.
Fine to be mobile or whatever, but you need someone who's comfortable running the offense. And Huntley looked lost. Granted, he had just got there, so I get it. But you need somebody who can take in a lot of information. And something tells me that's not Tyler Huntley. Andre CR for 2,500. This is what I say. Bama wins versus Georgia, and Jeremy shows up. Bama gets stomped, and Jeremy's missing. Yeah, I think a lot of people are noticing that, aren't they? Over on Rumble again, John Getz. Over under on a Brittany Mahomes and Taylor Swift catfight in the box before Election Day. Not gonna happen. John Getz for another $1. Steelers lost because their defense last week. Was kind of impressed with Fields playing from behind. This week will be very telling if them or the offense can keep that momentum. I thought it was a perfect Justin Fields game. to see him have a chance to, lead his team to victory or at least tie that game up late in the fourth quarter, and to see a snap that goes off his face mask and gets fumbled, and then him throw two terrible passes that both should have been interceptions. Perfect Justin Fields ending to that game, in my opinion. That's vintage Justin Fields right there. Shout out. And shout out to the big audience over on Rumble today, by the way. You got almost 1,000 people watching us over on Rumble. So we appreciate you guys hanging out. That's going to be it. We got 3 minutes until these afternoon games start. Beardo, what do you got going on, man?
Yeah, just watching football. That's it.
There you go. John, what do you got going on?
Same thing here. The Texans are going to be kicking off. And I don't know who the other game is. I'll probably watch it on MoTV. And yeah, that's about it.
Red zone, baby.
Red zone is where it's at.
Yep.
Unless your team sucks, and you won't see them much.
I've been actually watching MoTV on YouTube TV, and I have Red Zone on my phone.
There you go.
Okay.
That's the way to do it. That's acceptable right there. That's very acceptable. All right. Thank you guys for joining us. We will be here for Monday evening quarterback tomorrow to wrap up what we got right, what we got wrong, and what we didn't see coming at all. So we thank you guys for being here. We'll talk to you next week. Peace.